Welcome to day 610 of our Web3 journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein here with my twin brother Brian. And remember, these videos are sponsored by NFT Tech. They're an investor in DeSoFi, the Web3 mobile app built on the DeSo blockchain. So, Brian, we're back. We're back in our offices today after having a vacation to the Bahamas. It's nice to be back. And we learned that Elon Musk might be creating a smartphone.
Yeah, so there's some talk that Apple or Google could possibly try and block Twitter from their app stores. There isn't really any solid proof that they're considering this. A former Twitter employee suggested that it's possible, but Elon kind of took this head on, and he basically floated the idea that if Apple or Google were to block Twitter, that he would actually consider creating his own smartphone. This came in reply to a tweet made suggesting this. Would he actually do this? I think this is a question of is it possible? Is it possible in a timely fashion? You can't build your own smartphone and your own smartphone operating system very fast. It would probably take a year or two to really be able to meet production guidelines and be able to actually be workable. But I guess it's possible that he could buy up a company that already has an operating system and hardware developed. That could be a possibility. I think the better solution is to decentralize Twitter. The data on Twitter. If Apple blocks one website running that data, then others could pop up and feed that data into their front end. And maybe they'll have to block certain things, who knows? But I think that's a better option, and that's Web3. I don't think Elon has to get around all these obstacles by just starting new companies and starting new products. I think he could make Twitter a Web3 company if he wanted to, and I think that would solve many of the issues. Of course, if there's certain speech that advertisers or Apple or Google don't like, then even if a new front end springs up and tries pulling that data, they would be blocked as well, I guess, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is the first time we've heard Elon talk about a smartphone either. I remember hearing probably over a year ago that he was interested in uh, perhaps thinking about creating a smartphone, or at least he was looking into it. So I think this is something that's kind of been in the back of his mind for some time. Do I think he's going to do it anytime soon? No. Also, do I think Apple or Google are going to block Twitter anytime soon? I also don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, the only way I could see that happening is maybe if they deem it a security threat. Twitter's making a lot of new changes, a lot of iterations on their software, and that could open things up for safety concerns, data concerns. So I guess that's possible. But along the same lines, sort of, there's reports that Twitter has lost, or at least 50 of Twitter's top 100 advertisers have pulled ads from the platform. Clearly, some advertisers are feeling pressured to remove some of their advertising from the platform for various reasons. I guess free speech kind of goes both ways. So Elon wants to allow for free speech. Advertisers have the option of not advertising on platforms that they don't want. So I don't know what's happening here, whether maybe some of these companies are going to come back. Maybe they're pulling back because they're unsure of what's going to happen with Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, there are a lot of companies out there that you can advertise with. So, for a lot of these advertisers, it might be the safe bet not to advertise on Twitter until they get a better grasp of the direction that the platform's going.
I want to say I think that it's important that Twitter should look for other means of revenue, which I guess Elon has done. He's looking to charge for subscriptions, basically the verification for $8. It's important that they get away from advertising if Elon wants to try all these crazy things out, I think.
Which kind of brings you back to the smartphone. What if they start allowing for micropayments with crypto? Does Apple start taking the 30% fee as well from that? So, that could be another thing in the back of Elon's mind. I don't want to pay these fees. I don't want our users to have to pay Apple for tipping on the platform or for making micropayments on the platform. So if I create my own smartphone company, then I can get around that. So it's just another it's just more food for thought, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So also Elon, a lot of Elon Musk talk today. He made a post that I found interesting. He said inciting violence is against their terms of service at Twitter, and you will be suspended for it. But to me, it's like, how do you come up with a definition of inciting violence? What do you have to do to be considered inciting violence? Do you have to specifically say everybody should go harm this person? Or could it be something like January 6th, where a lot of people on the left feel that President Trump incited violence in some of the words he used during his speech? Uh, where do you draw the line? Who decides who's inciting violence? Who decides what is considered to be inciting violence? Uh, as we know, Trump's under investigation for inciting violence. Do they wait until he's indicted? Do they wait until he's convicted? Do they just have their own way of deciding who incites violence? Like, what if, somebody else incites violence? Who decides that?
Uh,
Hard to come up with a black and white definition of incitement.
so let's move on to the DeSo blockchain. What's going on with Mossified?
Yeah, so Mossified, Ed Moss, of course, the DeSo core team said that he is simplifying the Bitclout landing page to make it more explicit that it was an early experiment built on the DeSo blockchain. As many of you know, Bitclout was formed back in the day, and it was basically the only node, the only app. It was the blockchain was even called Bitclout. So we've moved past that now. DeSo is a blockchain, and Bitclout's just one app that was built on the DeSo blockchain, and it was an experiment back then. I don't know if it was viewed as just an experiment. I think it was more than that, but I think we've moved on past that, and it is an experiment now. So I like this. Mostly also said he's removing the sign up and login buttons and redirecting the traffic going to BitClout to Diamond. So the app's still going to remain. It's going to be fully accessible. Just go to bitclout.com/browse, and you're still going to be able to access it. But there won't be that sign up funnel. There won't be that mechanism to onboard people through BitClout. It will now go through Diamond or other apps.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think that this is a good move overall.
And Story. Story's holding multiple investor meetings next week, and they're looking to raise funding. They also would like to ask DeSo users, community members on DeSo, to point angel investors and pre-seed VCs in their direction if you know of anyone looking to invest in something, a Web3 platform like Story, Web3 app like Story. They said if they can lock down funding, they're going to be able to launch their app and token, plus many other unique features to drive adoption soon. And they, of course, Stories created by the Design Star sisters and Rabal of Clout of DeSoFi.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really, really tough time to be trying to raise capital. And it's just that we don't know where things are headed in crypto space. Is this winter going to last another 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months? We don't know. And I think VCs are a little bit shaky right now. Like, do we put more capital into these upcoming projects when things are quiet? I think it would make sense, but I think a lot of VCs might have lost money in the FTX fiasco and are just kind of being more conservative. But Story is definitely one of those apps that can really drive DeSo forward. So any help that Story gets is definitely going to be helping the DeSo protocol in general.
Yeah, definitely. And the DeSo Labs Crypto Winter 2022 Hackathon is in full swing. Yesterday was their clubhouse room. I listened in on that, got to hear from many of the developers who are creating projects on DeSo as part of that hackathon. We even got to hear Brutal talk for the first time. That was amazing. Of course, Brutal was always one who would never let his voice be heard to anyone on DeSo, it seemed like. So it was definitely a pleasure getting you to listen to him speak. Lots of cool projects are in the works. Jim Toth talked about Bundle DAO, which is going to enable DeSo users to upload content to Arweave, the Web3 image storing platform, while paying in DeSo. So you won't need to use the Arweave token in order to store your images in Arweave. You're going to be do it with DeSo through Bundle DAO, which I think is really an awesome thing. A lot of people skip over the whole Arweave thing because they don't want to go through the whole process of buying Arweave tokens, uploading it through these kind of clunky mechanisms, and then having their NFTs or other images shown through Arweave, but this is going to help a lot. We also heard from Conchi and Slava and many of the awesome developers. I just had to say, I can't wait to see these apps come to fruition. Probably starting next week, we're going to see a lot of good apps coming to DSO.
Yeah, and speaking of really good apps, Mr. Preet said that his video uploads are now available on VidDeso. So VidDeso, of course, is a YouTube-like app or node on the DeSo blockchain. It's going to have its official launch next week. In the meantime, the public beta is now open. You can get to that on viddeso.vercel.app. He said that he needs a writer for the privacy and terms and conditions section of the website. So if you can help him out, please contact him. He's going to be adding content search with SearchClout next week as well. And story videos will be added next week. Definitely check it out and provide some feedback. I was checking out this morning. As you can see, I've been showing the video right before this, and it just looks amazing. It looks like YouTube. It functions like YouTube, except it's on DeSo and can pull up a lot of our videos, other people's videos. Definitely check it out.
Yes, VidDeso, check it out.
DeSocial World, they featured another creator. This is their 18th out of their 50 creators they want to or intend to showcase from 50 different countries around the world who use DeSocial World. Today's user is Sammy, who is a 13-year-old DeSo developer from Morocco. And I'm going to play that video right here.
Sammy, I am the creator of Advertisers. I'm based here in Morocco. I joined DeSo over the summer. I'm very grateful to be a part of this amazing community. Thank you all for your support.
Sammy, of course, is the developer of social.app.
Eva Social.
I'm sorry, yeah, evasocial.app. And remember, you can submit your video if you're in a country that hasn't been covered yet. So there's 32 more openings for this 50 creators from 50 different country project that DeSocial World is doing. You can win $10 if you are selected. So definitely do that if your country has not been featured yet.
Yeah, and DeSocial World also released a new feature yesterday, and that feature is so now when you go to your notifications on DeSocial World, you know DeSocial World's notifications are a bit different from Diamond app. You get to see the images, the avatars of all the people who gave you likes, diamonds, reposts, etc. But now if you click on those, or if you mouse, I should say, if you mouse over those avatars, it's going to tell you how long that individual has been on the DeSo blockchain. So you can discover, are OGs giving me diamonds? Are new users giving me diamonds? You can kind of see that super quickly now. Again, just mouse over it. On mobile, if you press and hold on the avatar, you're going to see this same stat. So check it out. Definitely a cool new feature on DeSocial World.
Yeah, pretty cool. So what about NFTZ auctions? Tell us about those.
Yeah, so as many of you know, NFTZ is the only place on the DeSo blockchain where you can view and post live time DeSo NFT auctions. Just go to nftz.me/auctions and you see all those auctions that are ending soon. Here are some of the live auctions ending in the next 24 hours. Spunk Art has several OG NFT series on DeSo up for auction, ending starting around 1 p.m. Eastern time today. They include Effed Up Cats, Squatch, Desomon, Mice Heads, Clout Punk, Goosies, Unicat, Clout Cox, Mini Clout, and even a Spookies. There's a Spookies NFT up over there. Also, Ackhill 369 and Happy Rabbit have some cool NFTs ending today. And Dead Metal is auctioning off a Clara Mouse NFT that ends at 6 p.m. Eastern time today.
Yeah, and I want to quickly get to the top 10 NFT bidders over the last 24 hours. Thanks to NFTZ for providing this list. These people bid on the most NFTs on DeSo over the last day, and they are as follows: Dead Metal, Zer1, Global Trade Hub, Imagine Dreamer, Hubo, David J. Ryder, Hey Yang, Studio Richards, MN65RF, and Pipaloo. And the top diamond creators over the last 24 hours, thanks to our friends at Alton Base. These people received the most diamonds or tips on their posts and replies on the DeSo blockchain in the last day. Skin Lover, followed by Clout Women Unite, Striga, Whale Shark ETH, Elric Ericos, Riga, Happy Rabbit, Krasenstein, which is of course us, DeSocial World, and Stargazer.
Yeah, and everybody have a great rest of your day, great weekend, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.